Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly podcast series called Encouragement for Your Life. Many of you know I'm a national speaker and trainer, and as a coach, I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, presentation skills, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. Many of my other presentations can be found on my website, debsofield.com. If your organization has an upcoming conference and you're looking for a keynote speaker, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I've got a number of books on the market. My best-selling book, Speak Without Fear, my soon-to-be best-selling book, Perfecting Your Platform, are both on Amazon and Audible. My series, Encouragement for Your Life, a compilation of these podcasts, well, they're available on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, and all my books will appear. I've got a great theme today, and it's this: a word after a word after a word is power. And that's by Margaret Atwood. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for joining me for these next few minutes. Let's get started with today's show. A word after a word after a word is power. Quote from Margaret Atwood. I have to say, I've really come to believe that what you say to yourself about yourself is vitally important. Now, I'm not sure I can prove it scientifically, but it just seems to me if you're not careful with the words you use when thinking about your skills, abilities, and knowledge base, you will undo years of education, years of building yourself up, and years of acceptance of the praise of others who see a spark of brightness in you. With the new year upon us, I'm going to have the opportunity to be on my local TV station with Deb Sofield's New Year's resolutions. But this year, unlike every other year I've been doing this, will not be what most people think about when they think about their New Year's resolutions. Because I know, and you do too, that no one keeps them after, January 15th. And it's not that we don't want to keep them, it's just that it just seems too hard to do. Because if it's true that to learn a habit it takes 90 days to become a habit, most of us are done with our new, big, bright, shiny idea by day 15. That's 75 days short of the needed responsibility to, as we say in the South, get her done. So I've been thinking about how I can help others maintain their big idea with a more reasonable and long-lasting approach. So I'm someone who likes to link words to ideas. What I mean is this: if you say you want to lose weight, and by the way, that has been one of the top resolutions since time began, you should choose a word to describe it, which in your mind will anchor the idea. This year, from online polls about New Year's resolutions, the top 6 are enjoy life to the fullest, live a healthier lifestyle, lose weight, spend time with friends and family, save more, spend less, and pay down debt. So let me take a few of these in order. If you say to me, hey Deb, I want to live life to the fullest, well, I'm going to ask that you think about a word that would be your anchor to remind you of your commitment. The word I would choose to say is freedom. See, that word expresses my desire to enjoy life to the fullest. So when I'm thinking about what I'll do this weekend to enjoy my life, my anchor word is freedom. I'll do something that I like to do. Pull on a pair of boots, find a freshly plowed field, grab my metal detector, and start walking. The freedom of not being tied to my desk, not having to reply to emails, or not really having to do whatever it is that would hold me back from enjoying my moment of hearing my metal detector go ping, would be freedom for me. Now, my word may not be your word, so think about what word would transport you to your goal of enjoying life to the fullest. The next idea that people said is to live a healthier lifestyle. So think about a word that would be your touchstone to remember to hold strong when you pass by the ice cream section in your local grocery store. Would it be energy, strong body, strength? See, what you don't want to say is skinny or thin, because you've said those words before and they don't work because they are not an action. To have energy is a big idea that is reachable by living a healthy lifestyle versus, I want to be skinny. I see this a lot when people talk about losing weight. The reality is, when you want a healthier lifestyle and you desire to lose weight, your ultimate true idea is that you want better health. So choose words that agree with your desire. Think about being stronger, svelte, powerful, energetic, looking good in your clothes, fitting into your clothes, or whatever word or words would be the anchor you need to hold on when you pass by the donut shop. The same is true for other aspects of your life, that if you want to be successful in creating, some of the things you probably need to do. And listen, the big reason I teach the idea of anchoring, well, besides I know it works, is some other fly-by-night feel-good mantras leave good-hearted people discouraged, because really, after a few days, nothing changed. But we need to take the next step to be strong in our resolve to do the thing we want to do and then make it as simple as possible to follow through. All right, let me walk you through another one. People say to me all the time, I don't know why they pick me, but I do hear this. Hey, Deb, I want a better love life. Or they want to find the right person to be in a relationship with. All right, well, if that's your heart's desire, don't tell yourself that you just want to be married or happily dating. Choose a word that would fit perfectly the idea of how you would feel if the right person walked into your life. Think about a word. I would venture to guess that you want to be respected, revered, adored, valued. Don't just say loved. That's pretty general. Your cat loves you. Okay, probably not. I would go towards the dog. Say admired, cared for. Go deeper than the surface to a word or words that would settle the matter in your heart and mind if the person you have in mind matches the word that would describe the relationship that you have envisioned for your life. I know a lot of people are looking for a job, so let's think about what you want in the perfect job. Responsibility, advancement, recognition, reward. It will become very clear to you in your present situation if these attributes of the job you want are forthcoming, or as you talk to others about a job. You now know what words will ring true in the conversation or the interview. The ideal job's a little harder because it involves other people who will make a decision about hiring you. But you now have an idea of what you want and not just what you'll settle for. You know, we can choose a word or words for every aspect of our lives. And I encourage you to do it because it is more likely to stick than a fleeting resolution. This word attachment works because the mind is very powerful. But the mind needs nourishment. And you, dear listener, have to provide the words that feed the mind. Words matter. What you say to yourself, your whole body hears, which is why you need to monitor the conversation in your head to be a more positive voice that respects your mind, your body, your soul, and of course your spirit. I have to say I love my quote for today from Margaret Atwood. A word after a word after a word is power. And thinking of power of words to direct your life goals, let me move past your New Year's resolutions about your goals to resolutions about you, dear listener. So tell me, do you know what word comes to mind when someone says your name? Okay, stop and think about that for a moment. Really, what word comes to mind when somebody says your name? If you're bold enough to ask your friends and family, it might be an interesting observation. Or not. Let's hope it's for the positive. You and I know people, even casual friends of ours, that when someone says their name, no one has a good word that comes to mind about them. Oh, we've got other words that they're known for, but nothing I can say on the radio. Now, on a more positive note, what word do you hope comes to mind when someone says your name? Not so easy, is it? My word, and I hope this word is associated in other people's mind when they think of me, is encourager. I want to be known as someone who encourages others to live their best life ever. I'm known for a lot of other things: radio host, podcaster, speaker, author, coach, politician, and while those words are who I am in my everyday life, I choose to promote the word that I want to be known for, and that is as an encourager. I even joke it's my secret power. Starting today, you have the power to change the word in people's mind when someone says your name. So think about what word you want associated with your name. Think about choosing a word or words for yourself that will be the foundation for your desired change or personal perception. And write that word down in a place where you will see it often, because it's important that we're reminded of how we want to be thought of. Trust me, it will change you. It will force you to think before you speak and act. It will make you pause before you rush into some fight you weren't invited to. And frankly, it will make you a better person if it's a word that adds values to others' lives. The best part of all of this is that it is simple and anyone can do it anytime, anywhere. So I have to ask, what are you waiting for? Some listening today might need to take seriously the idea of how you are thought of by others. Friend, don't let another year go by without doing some personal work on yourself, for yourself in your future. And I don't believe the story that it doesn't matter what others say about you. Now, if it's a lie, of course it doesn't matter. But if it's the truth, it does matter. And deep in your heart, you know it. And only you can fix it. As a speaker, I know that the words I give from the stage can change a life for the better. I teach people the skills for how to deal with the media and survive. I teach public speaking skills so my clients and audience can understand the value of their words to inspire, cajole, or simply change others for the better. I know that words have power. They can heal and they can hurt. And once you learn the difference, you might be the one person with a right word to save a life. Yeah, words are that powerful. So friend, be wise with your words. I'm sure in my lifetime I've spoken words that have hurt others, and for that, I'm sorry. But I'm not that person anymore. In fact, as I've gotten older, shocking but true, I'm a bit more quiet than I used to be. And I will continue to guard my words and speak only when needed to offer a word of encouragement or kindness or hope for a hurting soul, a gentle word for a broken heart, or a bit of wisdom for the lost and lonely. Friend, the world doesn't need more words. What the world needs is words that change lives for the better. So remember, a word after a word after a word is power. So I've got to ask, what is your word for your life? Choose wisely, my friend. The year is young, and your words, well, you and I know they'll last a lifetime. All right, friends, I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for spending this time with me. You've been listening to Deb Sofield's encouragement for your rockstar amazing life, and I hope you'll join me next week so we can continue the journey together as we work towards a better day. And remember, I'm going to end every show with this if I can remember to do it. I want you to know that I don't care what the world says about you. I want you to know that I care about you. I care about you because I believe you can do big things. And I'm going to walk alongside you as we follow that dream together. All right, have a great weekend. Take care, everybody.